ANC carried that responsibility on behalf of capital to kill the ANC Youth League. Today, the Youth League is weak. Today, the Youth League is threatened. Today, even when the Youth League pronounces on leadership, you don't know whether we are going or coming. Why? Because of the doom of Johan Rupert. The smell of the doom is still inside the tent. Even other mosquitoes are scared because they know what happened to the chief mosquito. They do not want to follow Johan Rupert gave Trevor Manuel. Trevor Manuel is a member of the National Disciplinary Committee of Appeal. He sits in the same committee with Cyril Ramaphosa, which expelled us. Trevor Manuel was given a wine farm to go and marry his beautiful wife, Maria Ramos, the CEO of ABSA, at the farm of Johan Rupert. I'm explaining to you the relationship between the people who expelled us and capital. That is the second person. The third person is Jeff Radebe. Jeff Radebe and Cyril Ramaphosa, they both married the sisters of Patrice Motsepe. Patrice Motsepe is a mining mogul in South Africa. The Youth League is fighting against the mining bosses. 3 people having direct link with mining bosses and capital. They sit before you, economic freedom fighters, who are saying we must take from the Ruperts and give to our people. And these are the people who died with Ruperts. These are the people who are married in the family of Patrice Motsepe. These are the people who have got shares in the Lone Min mine. They say to you, you are going to have a fair process, boys. Follow each other. And what happened? High resolution of the Youth League out. Out. You are making appeal. You are making appeal in front of mining bosses. At the same time, you are saying we must nationalize the mines. They look at you and say, this is an opportunity to kill the mosquito. The ANC has been hijacked by capital. The ANC is not run from Lituli House. The ANC is run from Stellenbosch by those who own the economy of South Africa, and anybody else who want to tamper with the ownership of the means of production. Such a person will be crushed by capital. Those who own the means of production, by the way, they own everything. They own the banks. That's why the wife of Trevor Manuel can be a CEO of ABSA. Can you imagine a wife of David Masondo being a CEO of ABSA? It is not going to happen. Who determines the CEOs of banking sectors is those who are putting their money into these banks. Those people are worth billions of rands. And when a bank wants to appoint a problematic person as a CEO, they tell you this person is a threat to our money. If you don't appoint this one, we are withdrawing our money, taking it to a different bank. They own the media. They own every big industry. The chain stores, Pick n Pay, Ackermans, Penn, ShopRite Checkers. Those shops are owned by these families I'm talking about. They produce a simple thing, Colgate. And if Utobatella, the first thing they do is to withdraw Colgate from the shelves. because they own Colgate. That's the simplest thing. But that is the factor in the economy. If you want to know, ask those who come from Zimbabwe. When Zimbabweans took a decision that enough is enough, we are taking over our land, they stopped the trucks at Messina. They said no more trucks to Zimbabwe. It's not Mugabe who removed bread from the shelves. Mugabe expressed a political opinion. Instead of debating with him and defeating him politically, they used the economic muscle to punish the Zimbabweans. But they thought they are punishing Mugabe because they don't know politics. That sanctions do not work on leaders. Sanctions affect ordinary masses. They used their muscle. What is their muscle? Their muscle is to deliver bread in Zimbabwe. Their muscle is to deliver Colgate. So if you undermine them, they just stop the trucks. They don't have to come to a country. He just takes a phone and says, I don't want to see my trucks anymore in Zimbabwe. And then the economy collapses. Why? Because they don't think, they can't argue politically. They manipulate things and they use their muscle to make people suffer. And that's what they are saying they will do here in South Africa. We must be inspired by Zimbabweans. We must never be scared. Because every change is painful. We must be prepared to receive this pain. We must not be scared. People were killed during apartheid. Our freedom did not come cheap. There was blood on the floor. For economic freedom, we will not have blood on the floor. We will have a temporary poverty. But our determination, our commitment to the cause will make them to bring back the bread on the shelves. Today, they are sneaking into Zimbabwe. They want to do business there. Because when they withdrew bread from the shelves, Zimbabweans told them, you can go with your bread, we'll make a plan. When they left and they thought tobacco industries will collapse, Zimbabweans continued with the tobacco industry. There is a Zim plant which produces platinum in Zimbabwe. Is still producing platinum till today. Tobacco industry in Zimbabwe, it was controlled by 4,000 white families. 4,000 white families. Today, tobacco industry in Zimbabwe is controlled by 57,000 black families in Zimbabwe. Agricultural sector continues to be productive. The mine in Zimbabwe, Zim plant, there is no white manager, there is no white person in that mine. That mine is still operational till today. It continues to produce platinum. There is diamond in Zimbabwe. Our people in Zimbabwe continue to produce that diamond. They sneak into Zimbabwe to beg for that diamond. Because why? They can't go and buy during the day. They announced that no, there is human rights problems in Zimbabwe, there is sanctions, we can't take anything from Zimbabwe. And then you want to behave like a Democrat, you join them, you know nothing. You join them, Mugabe, Mugabe. What Mugabe? Hey, there are problems of human rights there. The same people who are saying to you, hey, don't do business with Zimbabwe, there is a problem there. They are sneaking in, taking the diamond quietly, continue to trade the diamond internationally. They sneak in. There is still gold in Zimbabwe. You don't have to dig deep like in South Africa to get gold in Zimbabwe. It's just here. It's a profitable gold. They sneak into Zimbabwe, still take gold, come and trade it here in South Africa. But during the day they tell us, will not do business there. Mugabe does not respect the human rights and all that. Once they finish with cameras, first flight out, Zimbabwe. That's why today they are saying, no, we must find a way of uplifting sanctions in Zimbabwe. Why? Because the food they are looking for is in Zim. They pretended like they don't care, but they care. The platinum of Zimbabwe and South Africa alone constitute 80% of the world's platinum. The whole world, 80% of the platinum is in South Africa and Zimbabwe. The next majority is Russia, and the rest is scattered all over the world. They need platinum. They have no option. They need us more than we need them, because we've got what they don't have. So then, every time investors this, investors that, don't be shaken by coward investors. Today, we've got BRICS. If America wants to leave South Africa, if London wants to leave South Africa, they can do so. But they must know, the minute they leave, the next second, Russia will come in, China will come in, Brazil will come in, will continue to trade with the international world. Because there is an alternative market now in the world. There is no longer a monopoly of imperialism. Today, there is an alternative. And that's what makes the world today democratic, because we don't have to go, all of us, and kneel before the Americans. Today, Americans are actually owing China a lot of money. They need China more than China needs them. And China is always ready to enter where the imperialist forces want to leave. I'm explaining this to you so that those who threaten you with investors, you must tell them that there is alternative markets in the world. And therefore, the competition is very big, and we can go to the next market. Anyway, when Nelson Mandela became president in 1994, they said this country is going to collapse. This country cannot be led by a prisoner. They left with their rents. They went to the outside world. They came back running. Because today we are a better country, which was established by a prisoner. There is only one man who's destroying the work of Nelson Mandela, Jacob Zuma. Everything else that Mandela worked hard for, Jacob Zuma is destroying it. If you want to understand Jacob Zuma, you must go and look at Mobutu Sese Seko, who became a leader of Zaire. One of his names, anyway, one of his very interesting names is Uku. One of his names is Uku. You must go and read the life and times of Mobutu Sese Seko. The first thing he did when he came into power was to empower his family, was to take everything to his village. You look at that man and you look at the current president we have, then you know what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a dictator in the making. We're dealing with a man who has got no respect for the law. We're dealing with a man who's prepared to do everything for his personal accumulation. That is against what Mandela stood for. President Zuma undermines the law. Till today, the judges told him to give Helen Zille the tapes. Till today, he has not delivered those tapes. Those are the